Yum, yum!
Hey everybody, it is time to show off the lid rig. I'm not going to get into the technical aspect as much as sort of artistically why it's constructed the way it is. And this will be the last prototype rig. I believe I now have all of the key pieces together for the face rig, and now it's time to put them all together, and the next time you see an example, it'll be of the full face working with some better looking expressions. So, all right, let's talk about the lid rig. The lid, the eyes, just like human beings, for 3D characters, are really important in emoting, and they are the windows to the soul, and it makes a really big difference if you have quality control in the lid, so that animators can really craft these shapes that they need for expressions and emotions and everything else. So it's not just open the eye top and bottom and yay, you've got a lid. No, there's a lot that you want to be able to do. I will say that I haven't gone to the nth degree in this one, so there are some crunchiness places, or you'll see some crunchiness in there. So don't judge me too harshly. But so we have our open and close, but we want to be able to do more than that, right? So like I did with the lip rig, the lid is carved up into zones. And I only did 3 because you can get most of what you need out of these 3 zones. So in this case, right, I can adjust my mid, up, down. I can also shift each zone left and right, so I can create, different shapes and different aspects to things. Let's go to the upper lid here, and we can take the mid. We can drop this down here. We'll go like that. Play with this, and then again we can shift it. One thing you can do that I didn't hear, because I think I got enough to get the point across, is you could fatten that shape. So right now I'm shifting it, and when I shift it, I'm actually shifting it around the eye, right? So it's sliding along the eye. It's not a world left and right. It's actually arcing around the eye. But yeah, so in, mid, and outs, being able to shift them up and down. You can also adjust the corners. It's one thing that you tend to do a lot, is you'll make a shape and then you'll want to fatten or tighten or move the actual corners themselves. So we can lift the corner up to create a shape. We can also slide it in and out, both the outer corner and the inner corner. So if I wanted to, I could pull this up here. I could slide it in. And then I get this little lump here, so I can go back to my upper lid and I can play around with sliding this shape in and out. Maybe it needs to go up a little bit. Yeah, that helps a little bit there. Let's shift this a little bit there, and then you can see there's quite a bit of work that goes into sort of playing around with the shaping. Oops, wrong one. I'll do this one. There we go. That's looking more like what I want. And I'll play with this, and I'll play with that. I'll shift these things around. So yeah, you can. There's lots of control in here, and you can even, as I've got this little warble in here, and this is where it gets really fun, because, and actually this brings up a good point. Because I'm playing with the corners and the fall off is happening at a point that doesn't necessarily hit the center of my midpoint, now I start getting these warbles. So you can add other controls, which I stopped at up and down and left and right, but you can do scales so that you could fatten and widen that piece out. You can do twists, so you can like actually roll things around. So it really depends on what your animators want, but it's definitely salt to taste in these kind of shape situations. But what's nice about this layered deformation control, the order of operations, is that I can shift, I can add new effects in at any time. So if I wanted to, I can add the scale part in, drop it into the rig, add the channels, and it just gets dropped in. It wouldn't even need any new weighting. I could actually add that in, add the control, use the same carve-outs, and use the same weight containers, and I'd be good to go. So anyway, let's see. Let's play around with, let's do this here. So we'll pull the corners up just because why not? So we'll do this kind of a thing, and mid, we'll pull the mid down a little bit. Low, play around with this. Let's pull this guy up. There we go. So let's say we found a shape that we liked. I wouldn't say this is super appealing, but there you go. You also want to be able to move a whole eyelid mass as a mass, as a group. So now I can lift this up. So let's say I've got the eye line, right? It's pointing where I want it to, but I want to be able to adjust it. So now I can literally pull the whole eye up. And this rolls along the eye, right? So this up and down. And it's just a simple rotate that's been, adjusted and is firing after all this other stuff's being done. But it gives you that extra layer of control where I can twist and adjust where I want these eyes to go and how they want to be. And then you've got things that can actually break the eye, which is this last one, which is this is a physical up and down, scooting it to the side, left and right, and the eye's not connected. The EyeLid, which I'm not going to prototype, like I said, that's really more of a point at it. Adds scale so that you can scale the eye up and the lid. You just wire it into the same weight container that's controlling the mass of the lid here at the end. But yeah, you'll see that when the full face rig's done. Anyway, there are times that you want to cheat. You want to be able to shift and pull things around and pull it off the eye, which normally you wouldn't, and by default you wouldn't do that. But you start getting these funky, lumpy shapes when you start moving things around a little too much. And I will say this, there are lumpy shapes there now because I haven't done the work of going, all right, I'm gonna do up and down. Now I'm gonna do up and down and over. I'm gonna do up and down and roll up. A lot of these weighting solutions is a balance of errors. I've used that term before. It's a hippodrome term, but it's you have to start combining all these pieces together and then adjusting the weights in all of your different weight containers so that you do get clean results no matter how you mash them together. The plus of this, and something I feel strongly about, is with a shape-based system where you're sculpting, you're physically, like a blend shape-based, it's like that's the foundation of your rig. You have to pretty much hit every possible option. You've got to go and go, oh, what if this, what if that, and you basically build this layer of corrections on top of a shape-based thing. And I've seen some amazing results out of this. I should roll all the way back and say I'm not judging. I said this is just what I like. What I like about doing it this way with deformers and then adding just a correction to taste is once you've balanced these things out, you can push these rigs just to crazy land. As far as like really big shapes and really big expressions and all over the map, and the rig for the most part will hold up. So anyway, that is the EyeLid Rig. Oh, one last thing. We have the squint. So the squint is just this here, where you're pulling up. So this is usually in conjunction with a big face expression. You want to kind of pull your the lower mass up. So this is just the ability to do that and play around with that there. So it's a simple translate, and more of this I need to really, if we turn the, you can see it's getting really crunchy in there. So this really does need a correction, a squint up with no lid action, a squint up with lid nag, and just making sure that all those edges and all those things are adding up really nice and cleanly. But anyway, that is the EyeLid. Actually, I'm going to do one more thing because it's fun to do. So let's do this. So I'm gonna, just to show you the power of the corner thing really quickly. And we'll pull all of this stuff out. All right. And we'll pull this open. And we'll pull this open. Another reason to show the corner is that, by default you get the eye-shaped eye, but sometimes you want it to be nice and round. Pulling the lid corners around allows you to do that. So you can adjust this and adjust this and get a nice rounded eye. And then if you tweak your ups and sides, so you can play around with this and then pull the side over. You can get that really cartoony rounded eye shape. Now you could sculpt it so that when you went up and down at your max range that it was round. But typically you don't want that to be the default behavior, you want to be able to get there and then just save a channel set or, a set of keys and drop it in and then get a round eye and then work from there. So anyway, super excited and surprised character. Anyway, EyeLid Rig, last prototype rig until I can show the full face off. And anyway, hope you guys dig it.